So in our research we did, we saw that the home was in Elora's name. How were you able to sell it?
Well, that is a private lawyer matter, but I will say in general, there are ways in which a spouse can give you the voluntarily the management of their affairs. And so there are ways that you can organize with lawyers. And Mama JF was kind enough to not give me trouble, that she went to her lawyer before leaving me and ensured that I could manage her things in her absence.
Oh, that's good. Okay, so she physically went to the lawyers.
Absolutely.
So okay, that does make a big difference because I thought it was possibly, a signed letter, which anybody, nowadays
No, no,
can
she
do.
did it
So she went.
fully in front of the law, in front of her own attorney.
See, that's a very
She
JF,
promised me when she left
this doesn't sound good.
that she would always be reachable and that I would be able to reach her to deal with
You
all
took her
of
out
the
to the middle of
official
the woods?
papers. You know that she owns a lot of stuff, and
Stop
sometimes I
talking.
need her signature. And I was like, and although we do have legal remedies for this, I was like, if you totally disappear, you might put me in trouble on some bills and
JF,
some,
no!
getting utilities and everything. So she promised to me that she wouldn't fully disappear.
You should have.
And she said,
right.
be thankful that I'm warning you in advance. I will disappear. So do you need any password for my accounts? Do you need some things for my credit card? I said, no, I'm good. I manage everything. And she said, all right, well then bye. And that was the last time I spoke to her. So seems to have happened though is after 2 days after we separated at that moment, she seems to have gotten rid of things that could allow tracking her. So on June 19th, so I dropped her at this gas station on June 17th.
Okay.
On June 19th, so between 17th and 19th, she sent me a couple of messages. At times she called me on my cell phone to indicate that she was okay, that she was on her road. When she was calling, I was hearing highway noises like trucks, maybe cars passing by. She was definitely outside and close to a road. And on June 19th, which is the last time anyone ever saw her, it's also the last time she sent me a text message. And this text message was saying, I hope, it was a series of exchange between her and I. She was saying, I hope that you're good with the passwords, with the accounts, with the papers, with the legal stuff. If I can do anything to help you, you have to ask me within the next hour because I'm about to disappear forever. And so I was like, wow, you had told me you would stay around. You didn't tell me you would disappear forever. And she said, right, be thankful that I'm warning you in advance. I will disappear. So do you need any password for my accounts? Do you need some things for my credit card? I said, no, I'm good. I manage everything. And she said, all right, well then bye. And that was the last time I spoke to her. So I've shown these texts. After leaving, and it had been apparent. I think I may have been in contact for a couple of times during these 2 days.
What?
So I was sure that she was progressing through whatever trip she wanted to do. I knew that she was still alive. But 2 days after leaving, she says, I have changed my plans. I will not hold my promise toward you. I will not be reachable. And it's like, okay. She says, I have a new plan. And
I need a cigarette.
I'm like, does your new plan involve any sort of attack against me or the family?
JF, stop!
Because you guys know how important that is to me. She says, you don't have to be worried. My new plan does not involve you. I'm just going to
This is one of the craziest things. This may be the craziest thing I've ever seen.
I knew that she had left without any sort of electronic tracking. You know how the police can track you with your credit card, with your debit card?
Yeah,
she had left with nothing but her phone. So when she said that to me through text, I concluded, okay, she's going off grid. You know, she's
yes,
going
he is
full
giving a motive,
survivalism.
Jungle. That's what I'm saying. Stop talking.
And kind of in her fashion.
The police are watching this right now, I guarantee.
So changing her phone.
Want
to
find
act
her.
like these worried families who want to help someone more than they want to be helped.
Nobody in her family reported?
No, because we were discussing with her family of the fact that she had disappeared, and it was within the kind of things that you can expect from Mama JF given her history. She's been doing it before. So to us, a couple of months of her missing was not irregular at all. Was not warranting a call to the police in June. And I've spoken to her family, and they thought similarly, you know, this is Mama JF. She is an out there woman, and myself.
JF.
But someone who was worried in the family spoke to an investigator and said, I'm like, to these feds, I'm like, please understand, you're going to pursue a fugitive.
Let me guess, that's not going over well.
Crime. She's going to be
JF.
She's going to be playing with you, sending you on false traces. She's going to have her hoodie, hiding herself from facial recognition cameras everywhere
now.
she
How
enters.
smart is she? When she like
she has dropped all of her
Ethan Hunt
electronics
and Mission
behind.
Impossible?
She's basically 007, but she has no mission, and she's not fleeing you
like
guys
Jason
for
Bourne.
a crime that she did because she's a good person. She's not going to commit a crime. That's the situation. You guys want to have fun finding her to be sure that she's safe? You go ahead. And so I'm not going to go random in a New Brunswick forest on 2 kilometer squares of forest and try to find her body. F is out there having fun, probably exposing herself to huge risks. You know, the risks of street life and anonymous life. When no one is there to care for you, you are at risk. Because no one knows. No one knows if someone has raped you and just put your body in a ditch. And no one is there to check. That's the consequence of anonymity. That's the consequence of having no one. That is the cost of liberty. She left and she had a whole plan. She had bought camping material. She was on her way to some sort of survivalist trip, from what I understood.
What?
She had left with nothing but her phone. So when she said that to me through text, I concluded, okay, she's going off grid. You know, she's going full survivalism.
Yes, he is giving a motive, Jungle. That's what I'm saying. Stop talking.
I'm not going to show a photo of her or name her when this is not my quest. This is not my quest. I had a visual confirmation from Mama JF live in front of me that she wanted to go away. So as far as I'm concerned, she's still in a trip. She's still out there just tripping. And I'm not going to publish her image because I don't know whether she consents to it. I cannot do anything more to find her. And at the same time, I'm not particularly interested at finding her because she has went willfully and voluntarily. And I have a family life now with a wonderful girlfriend who's a 10 out of 10 supermodel. It would be kind of misplaced to have Mama JF reappear in my life. Although I wouldn't reject her. It definitely, I moved on.
So you have no interest.
And they're like, well, look, he calls her Mama JF. He doesn't even call her by her real name. So he's not really interested at them finding her. It's like there's a lot of interest to wade in here First, by naming Mama JF a way that I've never named her publicly, I would only be misleading people. The fact is, everyone who interacts with me through this platform knows Mama JF as Mama JF. So that's her name for you guys. I'm not going to reveal her real name because, honestly, I don't even know if she wants to be found. And that I'm not...
JF.
I have a high security home. I'm not going to let them in, you know, but it's like, okay, they want every possible detail they can have about Mama JF because they are on this program of finding Mama JF. And it's fascinating to see JF, and I would be very surprised that I'm even considered a suspect
well,
in
it seems
any
like
way.
You are.
Because I have left records, I have left electronic traces of my dropping her alive in front of cameras of a gas station, and there has been plenty of electronic records of the fact that she was alive many days
going through how he covered his tracks.
Frank sent $3.
After asking
Ralph, do
me
you
to
have a
drop her
spare
at a
room for
certain
Jeff?
location.
I do actually, but I don't know. I got enough heat as it is.
And yes, you know that there are so many cameras these days and credit cards purchases that I can prove. I would be very surprised that I'm anyhow considered a suspect, but the feds are still very thirsty for information. I've never said publicly. Mama JF, before leaving, told me, go get a new wife and find a wife to have a family with and to care for the kids. And it's exactly what I've done. So that also adds to my doubt that I would benefit in any way if she was to be found. Well, we could have, for example... We could have in marriage being a contract of co-living, and we could have the husband being capable of guiding, well, no, you're not going to go to this dangerous spot, or no, you're not going to go on this 2 weeks trip where you're going to get fucked by some Africans. If we could have any right to claim that, no, legally I can keep you in the home, and I can let you out for groceries for when it's needed for the family, I think it would be beneficial for women. But we don't have this. And that is what I was telling the policeman, you know, wherever Mama JF is, it was her choice to be there. And it was her choice to run these risks. And, you know, I'm not the kind of... I don't have respect for human beings, especially not homeless druggies, you know. So I'm not the kind of guy who...
You have no respect for human life. You have no respect for human life, okay?
Who will approach a female and become friends with her male friends. So what I did with Mama JF is I extracted her from her misery and from her lifestyle, and I brought her to a greater lifestyle, cleaner.
Why would he say that?
Less craziness.